Hello, I'm Bob Winans, and I'm the Instructional Administrator for Music for the Guilderland Central School District. This video is all about our elementary instrumental program. Next year, as fourth graders, your child will have the opportunity to study either a band or orchestra instrument. You may be asking yourself, why should my child study an instrument? Studying an instrument has been shown to promote brain health. Music is one of the only things that engages every major part of the central nervous system, and it also helps to increase memory capacity. Studying music has been shown to help with executive function and organizational skills. It helps promote social and emotional learning, boosts collaboration and teamwork skills, teaches perseverance and discipline, enhances one's coordination, increases their responsibility, and helps to foster self-expression. On this video, we're going to take you through the Guilderland process that we use for teaching instruments. We'll talk to you about our recruitment process and the fact that your child will have a chance to try out some instruments in a few weeks. Take you through how the program works in terms of lessons and ensembles, how they acquire an instrument, and also how to sign up to study instrumental music as fourth graders. Now I'm going to turn it over to some of the instrumental teachers at the elementary level to talk to you about the different aspects of the program.
Hi, I'm Lee Russo. I teach elementary band at Altamont Elementary School as well as Guilderland Elementary School. And I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about how we begin the students in the instrumental program at the elementary school level. We start by having students use the skills that they've already learned through singing in music class, singing at home, using their ears. When they receive their new instrument, that's a new obstacle, and we want to try to eliminate other obstacles as they begin playing this new instrument. So we start them out by teaching them some of the basics on their instrument, and then using simple tunes that they're familiar with for them to start playing and learning on that instrument. So to give you an example, in a flute lesson, our first three notes would be B flat, C, and D. We'd take those three notes, and there are several songs that they already know that they can play using those three notes. One example of that would be Hot Cross Buns. That's the first song that most of us teach. And that is something that they can relate to. They know how it's supposed to sound, so it makes it easier for them to be able to apply it to that instrument. So as we begin playing in the program, we start by using our ears. As we get better and better, we learn more songs. We learn our instrument, we have some of the technique down, and then later on in the year, we start to get into, at least in the band program, we start to get into some note reading and get into the method books. I know the string program is using Suzuki method. But in general, we start them out trying to be as simple as possible and work through the kinks using three-note songs, and they progress pretty quickly.
Hi, my name is Carlene Close, and I teach band at Westmere Elementary. I'm going to speak to you about recruitment. In third grade, they begin recorders, which gets them used to playing an instrument. And then they also learn about the instrument families. In February, your third graders go to the high school for a concert where they see three groups. They are also introduced live to each of the instruments. In May, your child will come into the music classroom and try all of the musical instruments, most of them actually, not all of them. And we make sure to sanitize all of the mouthpieces when we are done. At the end of this process, they will pick their top three choices, and you will get a form home listing these three choices so that you can discuss it with your child and see what they might want to play. It's very important that your child chooses their instrument based on what they want to play, not necessarily on what's played in the family or what their best friend might want to play, which leads us to balanced instrumentation. It's very important to have balanced instrumentation in order for them to have a real musical experience. For instance, many children want to play percussion, but if we have 10 percussion, it's not going to make a real live band. It's just going to make one that isn't balanced.
My name is Shannon Woodley, and I teach at Pine Bush and Linwood Elementary School. I teach band at both of those schools. I am going to talk to you about how the program works when you start playing in 4th grade. I know we're used to seeing a full band and a full orchestra on stage, but when we start playing in 4th grade, we actually do not start as a full group. Your child will receive one lesson a week that will be 30 minutes long, and it will rotate throughout the school day. So it might be at 8:15 one week, it might be at 9:15 the next week, it might be at 12:45 the next week, and it will continue to rotate. Students will be told what their lesson time is, and it will be on the same day every week. So if you're a Monday lesson student, you always have Monday lessons. If you're Tuesday, you're always Tuesday. And then the goal for the rest of the week is for your child to practice at home. Our goal for practicing at home is 5 times a week for about 10 minutes. And we do the best we can to spread that out throughout the week so that we continue to develop those muscle memory skills and learn to make our mouths and all of that and our finger movements for the instrument. But in a very busy week, you might do the best you can, so you might not meet that exactly every week, but we all do the best we can. We do not start getting together as a full band or a full orchestra on a regular basis until 5th grade. As 4th graders, you might get together once or twice, but of course you have to learn to play your instrument before you're ready to play it with a large group of students. So beginning in 5th grade, students will have their lesson, but they also will stay once a week after school for a rehearsal, and they will start to have more of an ensemble experience when that happens. For large instruments, things like cellos, basses, baritone horn, those instruments are really large, so we do not expect students to carry those instruments back and forth to school. You will actually have one assigned at school and one assigned at home for home practice. For all of the other instruments, students will be expected to bring their instrument to school on their lesson day and then pick it up at the end of the day on their lesson day, because the rest of the week it will stay home for home practice.
My name is Marla Bracco. I teach elementary orchestra at Westmere and Linwood Elementary. Today I'm going to be talking about acquiring an instrument. When you acquire an instrument, you have several options. The first option is very highly recommended. It is the option to rent. The benefits of renting are many. The first being that once you've rented for a long amount of time, you have the option to buy. You build up equity within your payments for your rental, and then eventually, down the road, when you get to the high school, you are able to build up that money and then purchase an instrument with that built up equity that you have. That means that you'll be getting a really nice instrument at the end of while you're playing, and it won't cost you nearly as much because you'll have all that money built up. The second wonderful benefit of renting are all the free repairs. Within reason, if anything happens to your instrument while you are renting, you are able to just call up the company and you are able to explain what happened, no questions asked, and they will exchange the instrument for you, and you'll get a new one by usually the next week. Another wonderful benefit of renting is the free delivery and pickup from school. When you order your instrument, it comes delivered directly to the elementary school at the beginning of the year. The teacher is able to set it up for you, tune it if it's an orchestra instrument, check it out if it's a band instrument, and then on top of that, if there's ever an issue, like we talked about before with the repairs, the company will come pick it up and then they will also bring it back to you. This is a huge benefit that you don't have to worry about if you are renting. The third, and probably the most important, and this has to go with orchestra and band, is that the instruments are reputable. We, as the orchestra teachers and band teachers, have heard of all of these instruments, and we know that they work properly. That is a really big benefit for both you, the teacher, and of course, your child that is learning the instrument for the first time. If you are not planning to rent, here is another option for you. If you want to purchase your instrument, we will provide you with a piece of paper that lists all the reputable brands that we are aware of, that we know that these instruments are quality and they will work really well for your child. What happens if you order or if you purchase an instrument that isn't of high quality? Well, they can break easily. They are very difficult to get out a good tone, to get out a good sound. For orchestra instruments especially, they are really hard to tune. A lot of those pieces are put together very carefully, and with cheaper instruments, the pegs won't stick or the fine tuners don't turn, and even with band instruments, some of the keys don't lift. So we want to make sure that the instrument is only of a quality product. Also with that, you don't have the repair benefit. If your instrument breaks and you have purchased it, you will have to buy another one, and that becomes an inconvenience for you. So ultimately, it is more expensive in the long run. The used instruments, they are reputable, and they might need to be repaired to be playable. So always ask your teacher for that list that I talked about if you are planning to buy.
So my name is Mr. Vernell. I teach orchestra at Altamont, Pine Bush, and Guilderland Elementary School. So I'm going to be talking to you about when you acquire a string instrument, the size of that instrument is going to matter depending on the size of your child. There's going to be different sizes, and it can range from 1/16 size to a full size. Now, for the most part, when a student gets a string instrument, like if we're talking about violin or cello, they're most likely going to start on either a quarter size or a half size. And then by that next year in 5th grade, they'll probably need to move up to a 3/4 size, and in some cases, a full size. Because as your child grows, they will need a bigger instrument. And once we are recruiting the kids in 3rd grade for what instrument they're going to play, we will size them. That way they're playing on an instrument that's comfortable for them and easy for them to play. Because when you move up to the bigger instrument and when you rent that instrument, you're going to need to swap that out. So that's why renting is a great option for all of our instruments, but especially in strings, because when your child grows, they will need a bigger instrument.
Now that you've heard from our teachers about the program, I'm going to talk to you about how you can sign your child up to study an instrument next year. In a few weeks, they will be going during music class to the instrumental room in their school to try out different instruments. They're going to bring home a sheet on that day that has their top 3 choices. That same day, you'll be getting a Parent Square message from me that contains a Google form. Please use that Google form, just a short questionnaire, as the way to sign your child up to study an instrument next year. Here in Guilderland, we are very committed to making sure that all students have access to instrumental music, regardless of their financial situation. So if you are concerned about being able to rent or purchase an instrument, please reach out to either myself or your child's teacher for their school, and we can make sure that we help you out with that. Once your child starts studying instrumental music, here are some ways that you can help them out. Explore different music opportunities by watching videos together on YouTube or taking advantage of live music opportunities. Make sure that you're encouraging your child to practice. Remember, they should be practicing 10 to 15 minutes a day, 5 times a week. So please make sure that they're doing that. And also, ask your child what they're working on. Just simple conversations about what they're working on, ask them to play for you. Those little performance opportunities make all the difference in the world. They can play for you, they can play for a sibling, they can play for a grandparent. But the more they play, the better they'll get. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to having your child in the instrumental music program next year. If you have any questions, please contact one of the people on the screen.